This webinar that we are handling village safety, security, and crisis management. So we have 4 different levels of security, and then why we are preparing the villages and what we are preparing them for. So normal conditions, and we mainly talk about the peacetime security. So first of all, we have neighborly help and care for villages in vulnerable positions. There's loneliness, and therefore the normal village activities or already safety or help the feeling of being safe. It lifts up the community spirit and it offers places for participation. There is trust. You know one another. You know that you can leave your door unlocked and no one goes in there, or that you can get help when you need it. The collective resilience, and then of course the mental crisis endurance. So mentally, it's easier when you know the people who are in it with yourself. So then there's this next step. This is about the soft security still. The next step is the short-term disruption or crisis. And this is like if there is a storm, the trees are falling. Here in central Finland, we don't have really floods or tornadoes or anything like that. That mainly it's the wind and other storm that heavy rain can cause some problems, or extreme cold, extreme heat nowadays as well, and then the snow, if the snow is falling such that you can't move anywhere. And every time when that's the kind of situation happens, it affects the power supply, and there can be blackouts. Also, water supply is then damaged because there's no electricity. There can be traffic accidents or fire, or then search for missing person. Then we have also taken out on us to have the storm godparents, which means that in each village, people are selecting or choose that who is helping which elderly or disabled person. If they can't, you know that one elderly lady lives by herself, so who is the one who goes and checks on her that she's not being left alone. Or there can be a situation that the mobile phones are not working and there's no internet connection, for instance. And these pictures are from our neighbor village, and there we are training to search the missing person. Please feel free to ask if you need to ask something. So the next step then, the third step is so-called and then now the hard security starts. So it's a long-term disruption or crisis. So there is, if the power outage it's taking a long while, or the water supply is taking a long while to recover, or there is a large-scale wildfire, and then that can cause into evacuations. We don't have that very often, but sometimes we have had in Finland and in Sweden as well. Or the family loses their one particular house in a fire, or there's some severe environmental damage. I think an example of this could be Chernobyl. You remember Chernobyl accident? That was like a big accident. Or then there epidemic or pandemic. We had COVID. Before that, we didn't prepare ourselves at all like that for situations like that. But the villages were doing very well in that crisis, thanks to the for everything what we had already. And there might be challenges in daily goods supply. And then, of course, mobile phones are not working, internet connection is down. And then the fourth step is that there are exceptional circumstances or states of emergency, and that's basically a war, the military threat or attack. And then the state of emergency has to be declared by the national leadership. And we as citizens, we just take the orders and listen and abide by what they are telling us to do, using our head, obviously, but still we need to be prepared for that as well. And there might be population movements, and it means that some areas are evacuated and other areas need to receive them. And this is where we return to that in the end of this presentation. And then we need to protect the sparsely populated areas, which is basically whole Finland. But we have more, some places more dense, more populated than others. But what normally happens is that from the towns, people are coming to the countryside, because in towns, nothing is working. But in the countryside, you have better possibilities of survival. There are some pictures about our neighbor village that is called Ylä-Muuratjärvi. And they are turning their village hall, their village house, into the evacuation place. And it's an old school, and the schools stopped in 1997 already. And ever since it has acted as a village hall, and they have a lot of activities in there. And they used to have electricity heating. It's a big building. They have 2 flats in it as well. So they're renting out the flats, which is good because it brings money for them. And they started thinking that this is far too more expensive to heat it up by electricity. And what they had these old ovens, the round ovens. I guess I could show you. You can see. Can you see at the back here? We have an old house as well. That is the oven, and they are extremely efficient. And they had those ones, but they had been changed into the electricity ones, and they tore them down and made them up again. And now the whole house is wooden heated. They also have their own well nearby, and they have their outside toilet. And now they have mattresses there, so people actually can go and sleep there. They can take up to 50 people in there. So it's and they can cook because there's a wooden stove there as well. So that's the nearest help for us should there be any kind of crisis. And the villagers are doing it themselves. So this is basically what we do, and I'm helping the villagers to do all this. So we focus on what we as a villagers, as inhabitants, what we can do. And there has to be a clear distinction between the civil servants' duties and responsibilities, and then also what we can do and what we have to do, because we have civic duty as well. And that's stated by the law in each country. I think in the Nordic countries it's pretty much the same, but it would be interesting to go through at some point as well, that what does it tell us, what our rights and duties are. Then we select the village safety person or contact person. In our village, it's the shopkeeper, because he's the one that already knows everybody and everything in this village. So he is just a link between the authorities and the villages. He has no responsibility as such. He's not taking charge of anything other than transmitting the messages. But it's very helpful for the authorities, and they are hoping that there would be a contact person in each village, so that the messages can go through. And how that will go if there's no power, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So then in the villages, if you don't want to do, if you want to start a light, then you can just use these 3 questions of village safety. That what makes you feel safe in your village and what does not. And then start fixing those, make changes, see what you need to do. And normally people are that much more interested in that after the 3 questions, they want to go for the full out, and that's the 10 questions of village safety. And that leads to a village plan and village safety plan that should be refreshed once a year in an annual meeting, for instance. And for that, we have created electronic application. I guess you could call it application or a place where you can save it, and it's free for the villages. It's kylämme.fi. I can show that at one point for you. Currently it's only in Finnish. It's gonna hopefully be in Swedish soon as well, but right now we have it in only Finnish version. And then you have to cooperate with the municipalities always. So if you do not have anything or strength or don't want to do the safety plan to go out through the full out, so you should take care of these at least. So care for the others. And how about the animals? For instance, you are not, if there is a high class emergency, you have to leave the animals behind. But could you think in a place in your village that where you could leave the animals together maybe, and there would someone, or is it easier for someone to go and help them? Then you also should agree on the village meeting point. If there's no phones are working, where do you go and gather to see other people and share information? In my village, it's a school. We have a school here, and there is a certain point at the schoolyard where we are meeting. And that's not our gathering place. We go to our village hall, which is not very good because it's not heated. So in our case, we would go to Ylämuoratjärvi, which is about 4 kilometers away from our village, because that one is heated.
Lena,
yeah?
I just have a short question.
Sure.
When you speak about animals, is it pets or is it livestock?
Well, basically both. The farms, they should have already a safety plan for their animals. So they are like in charge of that stock. But if we talk about the pets, then you just have to leave them behind or let them loose. Either way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then you should know where there are wells or where you can get fresh water, drinkable water. If not drinkable water, then where do you can get water in the first place, and where can you clean it? Where can you boil it over 100 degrees so that it's safe to drink? Then you should have the 72 hours back at home and in a village hall or community center, which means that you have supplies, dry food, medicine, power sources, torches, lights, that sort of thing, that will last for 72 hours. And that is the time that each citizen is required to survive by themselves before the authorities can come and help. Then you should have a radio, battery operated, obviously, so that you can hear information. And walkie-talkies are good. You know what the walkie-talkie is? The radio phone? And we in Finland, we are a hunting nation, so there are lots of those in villages. Is there any? How is it in your countries? Sweden, I would think it's the same, right?
Yeah.
How about Iceland?
I don't think every house has a walkie-talkie, but some of them does. Like you say, people that are outdoors with other groups, quite a lot of them. And of course, the Icelandic Association of Sirs and blah, blah, blah. We have that in most villages, and they have it, of course. but
Yeah.
not every
Yeah.
household.
Yeah. That's
I
very good.
know exactly where it is in the north of Iceland in my house there, but I don't have it here in Reykjavik.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you have it there. That's good. Okay. And then stay calm. So there are things to be taken in consideration. So you should agree on communication. How do you communicate? Through the walkie-talkie, for instance, and distribute the tasks evenly, and the maintenance, who is taking care of what.
And
So
be
here,
sure that you have battery for your walkie-talkie.
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And this is where we are aiming to get. So we actually have a nationwide project going on right now that our main organization, the Finnish Village Movement, is running. And the ideal situation would be that the individual and families are prepared, the local communities are prepared, like us in the villages, and then the local yeah, and am I saying wrong way around here now? Yeah, and the community, then the council and other authorities, they all three sections are working together. And these houses, what we are like our neighbor village hall, that they are preparing themselves to be a safety house or like an evacuation place. So that is basically the aim, what we are going to. And then there are two levels of the village halls. They are so-called cold spots. So if there isn't any village hall in your village, like we have a lot of villages that don't have any gathering place as such. It could be hunting club's hut, or moose hunting group slaughter shelter, or village shop's parking lot, or any kind of village gathering information point, or if there is a well or clear water distribution point, that could be that one as well. Do you know what this is here in the picture?
No. It looks like an outdoor closet.
That's exactly what it is. And it's very handy. And you should have that in each village hall, even in your backyard, it would be good to have. So then the second one, the village preparedness building, this is translated by the artificial intelligence, and it couldn't give any better term. They are very difficult to say, but like basically a safety village hall. So what you would need to have on that is that you have the property name, address, the coordinates there, the village where you are, municipality, where the village belongs, who owns the place, that would be good to know as well, and the contact person and contact details, and the walkie-talkie. You need to agree on a channel that you operate on a walkie-talkie. But for instance, it's 5 here. Then building floor area and maximum permitted occupancy, how many people you can take in. And then this is now so small that I can't even read everything I have put in here. And road access, so that there is you can access it with big cars, for instance, as well, and the ambulance or fire brigade or something like that. You would need to have a heating method, both for the house and the food. You should have electricity apply, emergencies, the generator, and clean water, obviously, and an outdoor toilet, and village radio, whether you have it, yes or no. You should have this is kind of like a check-in list. So here now we go through the equipment list, everything you should have, and you basically have quite a lot of these items already at home, and hopefully in your village halls as well. So first of all, there has to be access to the location, and it needs to be in the winter. Someone needs to open it, clear it of snow that you can have the access. Then it should be heated one. There should be fireplaces and the firewood. You should have electricity generator or a readiness for the power connection. So you need to have a certain, what do you call it, fuse, or is it fuse, Mats? I guess it is.
Yeah, or that you can disconnect from the grid and go off grid so that you can power it with your own electricity.
Exactly. Yeah. Voimavirtajohto, it's in Finnish. I don't know what it is in, but it's so that it's accessible, that you can actually connect the electricity. Yeah. And then, the indoor toilet or outdoor one. The outdoor is obviously better. If there's no water, so you can't flush it. Then clean wipes, running water or well somewhere, and spare fuel canister. The generator works on fuel. Then there should,
Reena, voimavirtajohto is power cable or power cord.
Okay, power cable, power cord.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. No, it's okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yes, you should have the ramp or slope for people with the wheelchairs or that are not able to, or if you have to push something heavy. Cold storage equipment, fridge, underground food storage, water canisters and lidded buckets, a kitchen setup, some kind of place where you can cook. And if there are gas stove and bottles, if you use gas, and then or wood. And there should be outdoor grill as well, and a camping stoves and charcoal grills, disposable tableware, 3-tray emergency supply. This is for the 72 hours back, basically. And then non-perishable, ready-to-eat food. Also food that you can eat without heating. So the equipment list part 3. So wool socks to keep your toes warm. Blankets, sleeping pads, sleeping bags, matches, obviously, or lighters, fire starting tools, candles, flashlights, lit lanterns, and large outdoor torches or candles. Then batteries, of course, you should have. Maybe water purification tablets, depending on the situation. Normally in the Nordic countries, the water is clean, but there might be some kind of situation then when it isn't clean anymore. Trash bags, garbage sacks, and then tape and plastic sheets for sealing ventilation openings if needed. And power-powered radio that's been there a couple of times, batteries again, backup power source, village radio. And this is the village radio we were talking about, I hinted on earlier. So we are having some places are putting up an antenna in their village halls so that they can catch the signal better than normally. And these walkie-talkies, what we are using, they can have a maximum 40 kilometers of range, which is quite good nowadays already. And since we have this network, it's like open network, obviously, but it still works for different villages. And each Saturday, once a month in one Saturday, we have like a tryout, and people can join on that channel and have a talk from different parts of the country and just try it out whether it's working actually. And some people are it's their hobby to do that. And we are quite lucky. In my village, we have a person who is an amateur radio person, and he is quite interested, and he has set up the whole system in our neighboring village. And since we are that close to each other that we don't need our own antenna, it's enough for having it in one village. So it depends on the distance, how many of them you need. but it's quite handy to have and when the normal networks are down. So then the fire extinguishing equipment you should have in every situation, whether there's a crisis or not. And then first aid supplies and defibrillator as well. And this is something quite common as nowadays in the villages that people are aiming to get them. They are a bit expensive, and in Finland, the problem is that how to keep it accessible and keep it warm at the same time. Some tools and duct tape should there be as well. So basically, this is what I had in mind. So we've been rather quick this evening.
But there are lots of questions.
I wrote
Yes,
down some
please.
questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Some of them are more concrete and some of them are more maybe to understand these obvious cultural differences I see right now between Finland being a rather big country and Denmark being a small country, but Samsø being a very tiny butterhole for everything. If you say that in English, I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
so first of all, I just was curious, what kind of job did the villages do during COVID? Because in Denmark, you were supposed to stay at home. So
Yes.
I was just curious.
Yes. For instance, in our villages, that what I know the best. So we had the godparents kind of. We communicated WhatsApp is very handy for that one. So we created a group that everybody who was willing and able to help to get. It started with that someone needed the medicine from the pharmacy, and then we said, okay, that I can go and get the medicine for you, because at least in Finland it started such that the 70 plus people were like locked inside their houses. They were not allowed to go out. Other people were allowed to go out, but not in groups. But they were not even allowed to go out. So we had to create a system to help them, which we did. So we agreed that who is helping which family or which couple or elderly person. And we took them groceries. We have a village shop. So the village shop was rather easy for them. And they actually got good customers that way as well, because they were obliged to buy from them. They just rang in and ordered the food and the supplies, and the shopkeeper just got them, delivered them to their back door.
Okay, nice.
Nice. And then also what we did, we thought like it was rather dark and not so nice time for them that were locked in. So we got, one lady had an idea that what we could do, we could distribute some flowers for the elderly. So those, we had like a not a bouquet, but like a plant that lasted for a little longer. And then the school children who were put in, who stayed at home as well, the teachers asked them to write a letter and or draw a drawing for these elderly, which they did, and we then delivered them to their homes. So they liked that quite a bit. It was something different.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And that was, this sort of system was organized in towns as well, but it was, we like started immediately, sort of, it was there already, because people know each other, people knew who needs help or possibly needs help.
So when you do this training, like with the fire or stuff like that, is that people who knows how to do that? Is that
the
volunteers?
Yeah, it's volunteers and then the authorities. So for instance, when we are practicing the fire distinguishing, so it's the fire brigade that we can ask to come and teach us. And they have the packs and systems that they do. And we have the voluntary service, Vapepa, which is voluntary. What is it in English? Voluntary
firefighter.
Yeah, it's that as well, but it's even more. It's for like they have these courses for training, like here in this picture where the people are sitting here. So they are we are going through some kind of info. They have different courses like the search for missing people and then acting as a place of command. If there needs to be, for instance, like the village radio, that where is the main place that the information goes and the instructions goes out. And then this one is as well that we learn to cook like a huge amounts of food at one go. It's a talent on its own.
So it's very new to me, this idea that you should have all these places to meet. I mean, in Denmark, you're supposed to be prepping for a home. There is no authorities telling you that you should actually leave your house in any kind of crisis. But it seems like it's a way of thinking in Finland that if there's a crisis, you should meet. Or is it only if your own area is hit, or is it a general idea that if something happens, we should meet up?
Well, basically, it's because of the climate. Because if there's a power cut, a lot of houses get very cold.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to get a place that you keep yourself warm, and where you have access for water.
Yeah.
So that's basically where it's from. Obviously, you stay at home first as long as you can.
Okay.
But for instance, the elderly who can't do anything on their own, so then we get them in a one place where are people to help them.
Yeah.
I can say, for example, in Koskenpää we have a village house, and it's that kind of house that if you get some accidents, for example, a fire, they should take care of this family, or it's in rules, in the village house rules, that they are the first to help. Yeah. Yeah, and it's very ordinary here in Finland, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can add to this that I just know about Kokouksen because that's where I used to live, and the schoolhouse was a center for the we have every place in Iceland has a bigger or smaller what we call björgunarsveitir, or the Icelandic Associations for Search and Saving. This is run by volunteers. Of course, they have also staff that runs the umbrella for it, and then they usually have a one place where you're supposed to meet up if something happens. But the question of when do you go to that place? Unfortunately, I don't know if Nadia or Katrin knows the rule behind when you go there, but you can come up there, and if something happens that is affecting the whole area, then people meet up there. And this is something that we know where the place is, but I'm not sure. Because the library that I used to work in was also based in that house. I would have known if there was a 72 hours security for food or everything. I never saw that there, so I don't know where they have tools, batteries, all the things that you need. So it could be quite interesting to look into that further. Nadia, do you know how it's in Ísafjörður? Because Ísafjörður is a different from Kokouksen.
No, so it's really striking how, because I grew up in Sweden, but my parents are from Finland, and I lived in Finland for 11 years. And like on Iceland, on this island, we are really, there's a feeling of safety that somehow takes over, in a sense that even though I've thought about it, somehow, no, I don't know where the meeting point would be. And I'm sure we would all look at this body of this Björgunarsveit that would, you know, volunteers that train for snow avalanches and so on.
Yes.
We would look to them, and they would have
Mhm.
the answers somehow. But it's really in the air. I realize when I listen to this presentation that no, I don't know, and I think many with me do not know where we would go, or if there is a meeting point, or we
Yeah,
are so
and
far away from something here on this island, I think.
Yeah,
this is
Kokouksen, of
exactly
course,
why
we
the
had,
village safety plan is very good, because
yeah,
you kind of know, but then you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's is very good that you agree on a certain basic issues, like
and
that
it,
you know where the meeting point is, you know where the wells are, where you can get
Yes.
water, you know where you can get keep yourself warm. Those are the very first things. And then when you get information, and then also that you don't have to be alone. Like
yeah,
it is quite scary if you have to be alone, totally alone, that you have no connection, you have no information of anything that what is happening, because it's so much easier and better to be with other people.
If I
So
may, if I may make an input about this
please.
Hidden safe house, or you could call that the meeting point for the inhabitants of the village. I couldn't, like Nadja, I couldn't tell you where it was, but I have my suspicions, because we have mostly been saving tourists who have been driving in cars in snow, and we have to take them into this Fjöldahjálparstöð. It's for in the school for people in distress. But I was
Yes.
thinking the other day, we live in an area where the volcano is not far from us,
Mm-hmm.
and two times, 2011, 2013, there was a big volcano eruptions that made the whole country, the whole area, dark with ashes. And I'm not sure that there were any plans for people to follow. So this what you have told us here, that's very, very good, and for us to think about and to ask about, because I think the communities should be having a plan like this, and then we, the common people, could do that too. But this is missing, and I'm very glad to have been allowed to listen to your presentation.
You're most welcome. I'm glad if this is of help. But like in Finland, each council, each town has to have a security plan, but they don't really include the villages. They're kind of like doing it for their own inner circle. And this is exactly what we need to change in Finland as well, that they actually take the villages on account as well. But they also know that we are much more versatile. We are much more able to survive than the village, the town people. Basically, because everything is dependent on electricity in towns,
Yeah.
and in countryside not so much. So
Yeah. I think about something else, because maybe I'm unaware of it. In Denmark, we have something called hjemmeværnet. It's like the amateur military,
yes, kind of,
and
yeah.
sort of, or volunteer military. And I guess that I know that they train a lot, but that's sort of the only thing we have that compares to this. We only have 2 levels, and it's personal level and municipality state level. We don't have this entire village level. But I think I'm really curious to ask if it also have other benefits, because I mean, you could actually be a village and never have to use any of these skills if
That's true.
there's no
And hopefully
war and no
not.
wildfire. But I wonder if it's maybe very helpful, because I think it's also training your ability to have a responsibility for your community and other people and vulnerable people. So I wonder if you've ever seen any traits that that because you're training for this, a lot of things get easier or better?
Of course, that's a very good point that you're bringing up. Yes, first of all, you get to know the people. You need to work together with them, so you get to know them much better. Their trust increases. Then it's basically also it's kind of a hobby to train for these things, and then that was fun to cook for like 100 people in one go, and it was actually nice as well. The food was good. So yes, it have benefits like that as well. And then you're keeping yourself like it's a little bit like sports that if you exercise, you feel good, and then you're feeling better. It's the same thing with this sort of thing, and you don't feel that helpless. You know what to do should there happen, and hopefully you don't need any of this. So basically, you're like training for not to use them, but you still are able to. So
Yeah.
I must say, in my village, something like 30, 40 years ago, we used to do these things without so many people because we knew what to do, because we had, for example, so many electricity cuts, and we need to have food as extra and water as extra. But nowadays things are going better. But I must say that people are not used to be together as they were something like 40 years ago. That's the problem, and it's good that we are doing these things as a new, because we have, for example, here in Koskenpää, we have so many new members and people that moved here. So that's the main reason that why we are also doing here in Koskenpää these security plans. And one thing was very funny. We were thinking that these things where we can get water and pure water and that kind of things. And then we had an idea. Oh, hunters, they have everything. They have walkie-talkies. They have generators. They have tractors. They know the places. It was just very funny to have that kind of idea. Oh, they are very good ones, and we need to take care of these hunters.
Yes, they are very good to have. Yeah, and also what I forgot to say basically is the knowledge of your neighborhood. The locals know the area. They know the roads. If the main road gets closed, you know where else. How can you drive? Even those roads that are not marked in any map, they're like forest roads or paths, walking paths or anything. So they know their neighborhood. They know how to get from one place to another.
May
That
I add a
Google
thing?
Maps doesn't tell you. Like
I'm sitting in a car. My name is Outi, and I work with Reena.
Oh, hello, Outi, you're
In
there as
central
well.
Finland.
Yes.
Hello. I was in a car. I had to help a friend and drive him to hospital. But
that's a neighborly help. That's where we started from.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you,
I
Outi.
was listening with my left ear, all this time. I'm dealing with these things regularly because I'm also an educator and trainer in these matters. And
hello, we lost you.
Same skills help you when you organize big village festivals. If you train first aid.
Outi, we couldn't hear you for a while. So start again.
Oh.
You said that you are organizing. Then we couldn't hear you anymore.
I was saying, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying that if you train like emergency cooking for 100 people, the same skills help you organizing a village festival for 100 people. And if you train first aid, it's not something.
No, we lost you
again.
again.
Might need it.
Sorry, we lost you again.
I can't. Yeah, there is a bad connection. Sorry, I can't. I will write something if I have time. Yep.
Thank you. This is a situation you would need a walkie-talkie. when you spray it's not working properly. Yeah.
Well, upon the safety plans that you talk about, one thing that we have been quite active in the preparation and safety and crisis management for quite many years, since we had huge wildfires here in the north of Gävleborg about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And so people have that very much in clear mind and remember. So you don't have to say anything else but the wildfire, then people get the understanding that we really need to have these preparations. And one thing that is added, it's a very good list you have there, but what is we start to add is the resources that are available in the village, like who has, well, in small villages, you all know each other, but if it's a little bit larger, or if people have moved in recently, they don't know. So to help people, setting up lists for who has special tools or I mean, chainsaw everybody has, but still the special things that you might need in case of like the wildfires, the farmers started to use the manure tanks that they are spreading the manure on the fields, use them for watering down the areas where they didn't want the fires to cross over streets and so on. So those kind of resources to say, and also people's skills, if they may have a occupation in something, but they may also be skillful in something else that is useful for a crisis. So that kind of things is very useful to have noted down.
Yes, it is, and we have them in the village plans, safety plans as well.
Yeah.
So that list, what I had there, was for the village hall.
Yeah.
What the village hall should have.
Okay.
So, but in the village plan, yes, it's very handy to know the people who have tractors who can come and pull you out when you drive off the road, which we do frequently. And then other, like the skills as well, like if you have nurses, if you have doctors, if you have plumbers, if you have electricians, like who can come and help if something that certain skill is needed, or language skills, that is one as well that is
Yes,
might
that's
needed.
true.
Yeah.
Then there is a difference now in Sweden, that they as Sweden has said that we are not in peace, we are not in war, but we are not in peace. So we are in a gray zone, and they are talking about, okay, what defines that, and that is the internet attacks on companies or municipalities, and there are disturbances occurring from time to time that cannot be explained other than by another force outside from that is doing tricks with you
on purpose. Yes.
Yeah, and so, but on it kind of have stressed the need for the preparation, and then the authorities say that it's not 72 hours supply you need anymore, it's 1 week.
Okay, we haven't had that yet.
Yeah, so it stepped up from 72 to 1 week.
Yeah.
And one other thing that has we don't know what happened, but here in the neighboring town, the water supply to the water supply site, there was a break-in half a year ago, and that also, of course, alerted people to think, what was that about? Exactly. Is there somebody want to poison people, the whole city, or is it what? So now there is a certain focus on the water supply, and of course, as you pointed out, on the countryside we normally have wells, but in the larger towns there is not the wells anymore, but it's the water plants. So that's a few things that are coming up on the radar which has not been there before. But also,
Exactly. Mhm.
you should also think about that on a small scale, like the village I'm most familiar with. They have been working on the safety for a while, and they have put locks on the well door if it's
Mhm.
in a small hut with the pump or
Yes,
any
yes.
connection to the water itself. They put locks on the doors now, so it's not everybody can just get access to it, and you can see if somebody has been there. So
Yeah,
water is extremely important.
it is. It is very important, and Iran is now scheduling the water usage. They,
Yeah.
people are allowed to use because they are running out. But
Mhm.
okay, Stefania had the hand up, and
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
Mia.
Yeah, what it really took things because I see we have quite a few person from Iceland here. So I was wondering if we could, for example, when you're talking about this village, this list that you're doing and the security that you have built up,
Mhm.
I'm not sure we have it in Iceland. We have this what we call. I put the link into the chat about
Yes.
link into the English about this ice safe or. I'm not going to try to say
Yeah.
it, but it not. That
Yes.
we
It's
really, like Nadia said, we quite often just look at them as the security that we have. We don't have a military, but in
Mhm.
many cases when something happens, it's the Association for Search and Research and Saving that goes in. And so I'm not sure. The question is, do you know if there is Rina, what again is the name of this plan that you have?
a village
We
safety
were talking,
plan. Well,
yeah, the village saving the plan for the village.
yeah,
Who is responsible for doing it?
the
Is it the
villages
village?
themselves. Yeah, the villages themselves. They plan
No,
it them
I
together.
mean, we have each inhabitant that is responsible for themselves, but
Yes.
for the meeting for the hall and for the municipality itself, that there's not any every inhabitant doesn't go into the hall and put in eggs and bacon or something or batteries. So is it the municipality that is responsible for making everything that is supposed to be in the meeting hall ready there? Who is
Mm.
and who makes the plan that you have been showing us? Is it something that is done with the government, the municipality, or by the group that you are working for? And is it the same in Sweden? And Mia, from what I could hear, they don't really have a plan like this one. We don't have it because then I would know that there were some things in the schoolhouse in Kokouksen because, like I said, I used to work there. So I'm really thinking about who's responsible to making the plan and implicating it. And also about this water here in Iceland, we don't have a lot of brunnar,
Wells. Yeah.
wells. We don't have them anymore. We have, in many cases, we have rivers, and but then you would have to go maybe for 5 kilometers to be able to go to the river, and then it's a question about how is the water in the river in the river, depending on what is happening around you. So
Mhm.
I think in all cases, because I know this because we were working on a project that we needed to know. There used to be a wall in Röverhöfn and in Kokouksen, and we found out that around 1900, 1920, they were wells, but
Yeah.
they are not there anymore. So we
Okay.
don't have that security. And I don't think anyone is thinking about water as a problem.
Yeah. As an answer to your
So,
question, so it should be the municipality and the village together. However, in Finland, the current situation is that the municipalities are not particularly interested in the villages. They are interested in the center like and the towns are the towns there is set by law that the towns and the municipalities need to have a security plan, which they do not really include the villages. They are left on their own, like in any other services. We have to create them our own if we want to have something. So that's why we are doing it ourselves and trying to do it together with the municipalities. And this nationwide project that is running right now, it has exactly the emphasis in that, so that the councils and the villages are starting to do these plans, safety plans together and sharing the responsibility. But basically, this responsibility is on us, on the village. And normally, it's the association, village association, or the hunting association who is the center of who is doing all this and distributing the information. And now, right now, I'll show you the no, how do I open the Kylämme here? I need to hold on. Need to go. Where can I share? Do I need to take this off?
Yeah, you have to unshare this one and then stop share this one and
Yeah.
then share what you want.
Do you still see it?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to show you how do I stop this? Peruuta. Yeah. It doesn't give me an option to change. No. Now then, do you see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the kylämme.fi. It means our village. And we have the training. We are training people how to use this application. And one training is tomorrow. And we are doing it together with Outi, who was here as well. And here the latest villages that have listed themselves here. And the idea here is that the village plan and the village safety plan is open to everyone in their village, for the municipalities as well. So let me see, but not everybody has published their plan. There are actually very few plans still, villages that have this. This is the amount that has been published their plans. So you can go if you like. I'll show you where we are.
So actually, Rina, this map is a really good connection with my question. So I'm just thinking always kind of in these branding terms. Are these plans something that people look for when they are choosing where to live? Is it actually something that people consider as important? Okay, it's good to buy a house here, or I'm an elderly person, this is a good sign for me? Or is it just, something the village have for themselves and then you know about it once you move there? Or is it also a selling point for the village?
Not that I know of. I think this is more for the villages themselves, but it could act as that as well. And for instance, if I click my own village here, so this is a picture of our village, and our house is somewhere there, but it doesn't show exactly. Yeah. So this is the short summary what we have. And I'm the contact person in our village, and this is our safety person, Jukka Mehtonen, who is our shopkeeper. And there are different links. This is where we are. And then this is the safety plan. So there is the current situation, what we need to improve and what we are doing. Who is responsible for it? Do you need financing for it? And who follows it up? And there, for instance, here is the list of what did you say, capabilities or knowledge, what people can do. So we just been doing this. We don't need any funding for listing people that with the skills people have, and we have done that. And then the equipment, what we have. So this is what our next thing, what we need to do. We need to get the heated cupboard or box for the DEFI. So we right now it's in our school, which are closed. That is locked after 5 o'clock, and only a few people have a key to go there. So we'd rather have it in the shop wall, but because it's cold here, so we have to get the box, and it costs about 1,000 euros. So we need to get funding for that, and we are applying for the leader. We have a small plan for that. Then there's a tractor, what we know, aggregates, the generators, where we can get the generators. Then what we need to get the plastic container, and then we are getting the walkie-talkie for the village hall as well. People have the personal one, and then we want to have one in the village hall. This is how it goes. So
And
you are free to copy this and do it in your languages if you like. You know.
And is this website that you have something that every village in Finland can put up their own security plan?
Yes,
can they use
can.
the form?
Yes, they can use that form. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier as you have the form for it, and you see what to do.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, so Mia, you had your hand up earlier. Did you have your question already?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and now Mats, please.
Well, I had the answer to Stefania. She asked how it's in Sweden, and the village safety plans are starting to come now. It is pretty new. But the safety and planning and doing the preparation is done by the villages, and it is normally the kind of rural development group or organization, or what it's called. It can have different shapes. It may be different kind of organization that take on that role, who are doing it mainly in each village. But in several municipalities, among others mine, where I live, the municipality is eager actually to get the preparation and safety planning work going on in the villages, as opposed to Finland, where you complain about that. It is because they realize that it is not only the village people themselves that are needed to be taken care of, but also those who are living in the town. Like here, half of the population in Söderhamn is living on the rural areas and half in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And if something, as you said, the electricity goes and the whole town is black and it can't operate. So there is an insight that they need to be taken care of, and the rural areas have better facilities to do that, because they are not they're more used to blackouts from electricity, and have also sometimes, still not always, but still some have the wooden heating and so on. So these village halls are getting an increasing interest from the municipality and the crisis organization there. So they are trying to kind of make contracts with the villages, so that to make sure that they have enough equipment and supplies in the villages, and they may get also some funding for having it. So that is, but it is that is something that is coming the last year. It's increasing because it's also one of the reasons is that the municipality is not obliged to have, or they have to have a plan, yes, but they don't have to do anything from the beginning of next year. It's mandatory. They also have to do things, so it will change here in
Brilliant.
Sweden.
Yeah.
And for that they have started already to prepare for it with these village halls around in the municipality. So it is and it is also this when the government goes out and says that we are not in peace anymore, that has a big effect on all the authorities and organizations down from regional to municipality level. So I think that is one of the driving forces in Sweden right now.
Yeah, I think the same thing is happening here. I think the villages basically have always had some kind of self surveillance packs or plans or skills, but like because of the current situation now, it's becoming more and more important, and there are more and more fundings and more information and help available for this. So yeah, then the
I think Rina is frozen.
Is it still old? Am I frozen?
Not anymore,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, I was frozen for a while.
Yeah. Now you're on.
Recovered. Okay. Yes, Stefania, did you have your hand up or is it an old hand?
I think it is just the same as was over. I don't know why it doesn't go down.
Down. Sometimes it doesn't.
I had to click on something else.
Yeah, but now Katrin, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to ask, you told the villages themselves make these plans, safety plans. Do you have any organization working with them, like the Red Cross or the women organizations or any other group of people in the village who are perhaps more responsible than others?
Yes and no. Actually, the villages are the growing part that they are forming their groups that join, for instance, this volunteer service. So it's they used to be Red Cross used to be the biggest, but now the villages are forming the groups of their own local groups, and then they join the Red Cross or the volunteer service and get some help from them. So yes, they are like cooperating with some other associations as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Just me here again. I'm just because I'm a little bit focusing on trying to understand the importance of leader programs. So your organization, both that Mats is with, goes. This is something that has a bit of a finance through the government. This is something that we don't have in Iceland. We don't have organization that are mandatory or have to be put up in villages and areas and can get some finance through the government. And that's what we've been trying to understand a little bit about or working. Well, let's just say this, we don't see that it will be happening here, but is that you have, for example, you are working with your group in Finland and Matt is working with Exing in Sweden, and you have a part of, is this part of what you are doing, what you are putting forward and saying we need to do this is important? Would it be done if you didn't have leaders? but really I'm trying to understand the importance of this, that you can get some finance and employ people that have a job doing a job like this.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
sure if you can
yes,
answer.
yeah, I would answer yes and no. I mean, people are prepared to take care of themselves, and the villages normally have had the neighborly help and working together culture already. So I think it would exist, but it definitely has helped that the leader funding is there. And for example, our salary comes from the Finnish Ministry of Forestry and Agriculture and through EU. I wouldn't be able here to get money, get my salary for we will helping villages without that funding. And for instance, this village that our case village has got all the funding from the leader group for the
Yeah.
changes that they have in the house. And for instance, we are applying for the warm box for the DEFI from leader group as well. Yeah. So I would say yes and no, but not to this extent.
No, but most likely also that you have the plan on the web. It helps that you have
Yeah,
a
that
secure.
was funded by a EU group money as well.
Yeah.
That we created it. Yeah, some years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mats, go ahead. Well, was this
Yeah.
enough for Stephanie?
No, I think I finished. I was
Okay,
just
good. Good.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Swedish answer to that would say that it is not depending on leader. I'm on working on two levels, both the Exing level, which is the regional level, and that's totally volunteer work, everything that we do. And we are trying to help and encourage the villages to start up with this work, as we see that it is both. It is a big advantage because you get the collaboration in the villages going, and with the collaboration you get the preparation. So they goes hand in hand very well.
Yep.
On the municipality level that I'm also, we have a deal with the municipality that we get a little bit of money each year to have the contacts with all the rural organizations in Söderhamn. And in the last contract we wrote a year and a half ago, it was added also preparation and safety. So we are responsible to help the municipality out in the villages and their organizations, but we don't get salary for it. We get a little bit of remuneration for helping out, but it is to point them in, coach them kind of a bit. We are not doing any work for them. They are doing it all by themselves. And we just get the connections and get the people from the municipalities come out and tell them what if they need a meeting and get more information and these kind of things. So the work is really on the villages and that is all done on a volunteer basis. So it works also that way.
Yeah.
But it would help with money, of course, but it's
everything
not
has
mandatory.
to have the money. So really what I think, if you take it together with the questionnaire that we have done and we have sent to the villages that you are working with, and hopefully we will get some answer from Iceland. I think that could be the first step, for example, here in Iceland, to send that list after we have finished this project, to send it to all the municipality with the question, with idea that this could be the first step in this direction.
Yeah, that is very much so. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 minutes left. Any more final words or questions?
Well,
Or
I would
are we
like to
good
add on what you said, Stefania, that when you learn that things are happening in Finland and Sweden on this, then you can start to push the municipalities in Iceland as well to say, well, look at this. This is what they are doing, and we should take after and learn from them.
Yeah, good. Tiina has final words. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some words. I must say that Reina is very good as a person because she's helping so much our villages in the central Finland, and she's working like 100 and plus. She's very, very good in that one. So
Thank you.
yeah, I really mean that because while we are doing this village security plans, it was Rena's idea to do that, and we are just making that. I think it's gonna be end next spring. I think so. But Rena is very helpful, and I just like to thank you.
Thank you. That's nice to hear. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we were of some help for you, and then we can continue these conversations. And when we in our future webinars and our study trips when we are going to meet up. So hopefully to see some of you there, then the Icelandic ladies as well, when we are coming to Iceland. Okay. Yeah.
There was just one question. After when you've stopped the recording.
Okay. Now I stop the recording. I thank you, and we'll see how we cut and paste this before we put this in the internet. So
It was just that we have